Bring it up on the show, brother.
I'm going to do it right now. Hold on.
All right.
Trump dance.
If you need me, let me know. Gonna be around. If you got no place to go, we can treat it down. If you're all alone, with a pretty bird, set off on the outskirts free. Take a chance on me. But if you do very best, that it ain't no lie. If you put me to the test, let me try.
It's all you, Doc.
Well, what a week, guys. Anyway, welcome to Chance's Chat with Chance, me, Docg, and of course, Fascinating Brian. This may be for entertainment purposes only, but it also may not be. Welcome to Chance's Chat. Go ahead, Chance.
Hi, guys. I'm feeling a little better. I'm extremely exhausted. I've been doing a lot of sweating, and there's some very dark liquids coming out of me, and I'm feeling very drained. But hi, Kathy, and the Honey Man. Hey. Okay, guys, I kind of feel like our message is just. I guess I feel like the only reason that I'm not feeling the love because you guys are dropping off as soon as I give the RV intel. Okay, and our numbers go way down after I give the intel. So what Brian and I and Docg have to say to you, we feel is very important. So we're not going to give any RV intel until the end of the show, the last 10 minutes. But I want to do a few things in order. Now, let me find it here. Okay. Here it is. Okay. A very good friend of mine who lives in Las Vegas has a brother named Willie. And he understands about reptilians, but he's just not so sure about this Nara, Gasara, and all these masks and stuff. And all the other part of being an awakened individual. So we'll call him woke with a little bit of side of reptilian. Okay? Willie, this is me, Chance, your sister's friend, trying to red pill you. I'm going to give you a little information about where this all started. In the 1950s, back in the time of Eisenhower, the aliens from another area made a deal with Eisenhower and began the plan of eliminating the corporation of the United States, which was hijacked from us in 1871, and our country was turned into a corporation. And so in the 50s, these generals and everybody got together and they wanted to put this plan together. The plan is actually called NASARA. It's called National Economic Security and Recovery Act. It's a set of proposed economic reforms for the United States suggested in the 1950s by Eisenhower and the generals, but before that, in the 90s, by private citizen Harvey Francis Barnard. Barnard's changed that the proposals, which were proposals, which included replacing the income tax with the national sales tax, abolishing compound interest on secured loans, and returning to a biometric currency, or a biometallic currency, which means metals, would result in 0% inflation and more stable economy. The proposals according to the powers that be and the record, were never introduced before Congress. That is a lie. In 1990s, during Clinton's administration, these generals who had been planning for the whole time under gunpoint forced Bill Clinton to sign the Nara Act and started the plan to turn us back into a republic with gold-backed currencies. Now, I understand you do believe in the reptilians. Well, what you got to realize is most of the people that you see on television, the news, and the Congress, House of Representatives, Senate, most of them are shape-shifting reptilians for the most part. The shape-shifting reptilians and the bad aliens, for lack of a better term, bad extraterrestrials. Thank you, Richard. They have kept us in a slavery in a gilded cage, but now they're turning up the heat because we're turning up the heat. Okay. Global currency reset is upon us. It has already started for some people. People have already cashed in some of their currencies as far as 4 months ago. Some whales or people that have just boatloads of currency have been paid. I'm holding currency. Most of the people that I know and people that are on this show tonight participating, writing in, they are also currency holders. And we are awaiting the announcement of Nara, which abolishes all debt because it's fiat currency. You need to read the book, The Monster of Jekyll Island. Okay? That tells about how, during a closed session during the holidays, the House sold us down the river and brought the Federal Reserve into power to make our currency. It was neither federal or part of a reserve. It was the cabal. Okay? Read the book, The Monster of Jekyll Island. You can get it on Amazon. And now that's when they confiscated all the gold. Okay? They confiscated all the gold. I think they confiscated silver too, didn't they, Brian?
I don't know, but most likely they confiscated a lot of things.
Yeah, but what they really took is the soul of our country. In 1871, I believe it was Grover Cleveland made corporations legal in the United States. We were a republic then. Now we are a corporation. The corporation has been disbanded, defunct, and bankrupt. The Creature from Jekyll Island by Mr. Griffin. You're right. That's right, Min Chow. Thank you. Do your due diligence, do your investigations, and find out. Okay? The corporation of the United States is bankrupt. Whether you want to believe this or not, Willie, I can't help you. Okay? I'm telling you truths. And if there's anybody that's listening that thinks I'm lying, put it on the screen. Call me a liar. Okay? I am all about transparency. I always have been, always will be. Now, what is getting ready to happen is the med beds are going to be released. We are hoping that your mother can maintain a certain level of health until we can get her in to a med bed. The med beds are real. They've been around since 1941. Cloning is real. It's been around since 1941. It was developed by the Nazis. Okay? Whether you want to believe this or not, we're thinking Kent Dunn says 2/3 of the planet. I'm going to say half. About half the people that are walking around on this realm are clones. Okay. Whether you want to believe it or not, it's very easy. I've got the simplest test in the world. I did it for a while there in Burlington, Iowa. When I go to Walmart, I had a little fidget spinner. You know what those little fidget spinners are? Do that in front of people, and if they're a clone or a walk-in, it drives them nuts. They'll go away from you, or they'll act like they're in pain. It's like kryptonite to them because the fidget spinners produce a frequency they don't like. And I don't know, Willie, have you ever seen a guy check out a local restaurant or somebody you don't even know? It's a stranger. It's a non-person to you, just a regular person, but they didn't look just right. They didn't feel just right. You got a weird feeling when you pass by them on the street or something. That's your conscience trying to tell you, wake up, wake up. There's a whole new reality. You are living in the Matrix. If you haven't seen the movie The Matrix, you need to watch the original Matrix. This is what we call red pilling. Okay, you have taken the blue pill. You are living in the programming that the television has provided for you. Okay, I have taken the red pill a long time ago. Texas Pureblood says, I don't know what a fight spo. What's that?
I have no idea what that means.
No, no. But just to be clear, they weren't given any technology. I mean, they didn't invent anything. They were given that technology, just like they were given replicators.
Right.
So if you think, yes, there have been some great original ideas that have come from the human, but most of your interstellar is given, and then they just say, do what you want, because that's part of the game board. So again, it's just more garbage. But yeah.
Yep, garbage in, garbage out. Okay, you eat garbage, you watch garbage through your eyes, you listen to it, music at the wrong frequency, you got garbage going in. You don't know what a fidget spinner is?
One of them little
Oh
things.
my gosh, it's a little 3-sided thing. It looks like a what?
Like a boomerang with 3 sides. Just say
Yeah,
that.
exactly. And you can just hold it in the middle and you spin it, and it makes this really weird noise. And you can buy them on Amazon. Go buy yourself one and carry it around in your pocket on your keychain or something. And you run into some weird people, see if it drives them nuts. Okay, then you know you bingo. There's one of them right there. And I'm going to finish up here because I got other things to talk about here, Willie. But I do want to tell you this. Okay. There's a lot of actors out there. Go back and listen to Trump in his speeches and his rallies. He's talking about central casting. Central casting. Oh, there's a new one from central casting, or central casting this, or central casting that. That's because the FBI a long time ago, about 40 years ago, developed masks with the help of Hollywood. And these masks can make you look like anybody. Now, and I'm not kidding on this, and you go into watch the first, second, or third Mission Impossible movies.
Actually,
You'll see
Face Off.
Face Off. Right.
Back
But
then,
did they have the synthesizer Band-Aid? Did they have the synthesizer Band-Aid?
yes, they've had that back then.
Okay. There's a Band-Aid. A Band-Aid goes under the neck and they cover it up with makeup and everything. It's actually a synthesizer to make you sound like anybody. I could sing like Elvis Presley. You know, I could sing like Aretha Franklin. You know, it modulates your voice. It changes the frequencies. Okay, Willie, I haven't met you, and I'm sure you're a terrific guy. And your son's really going to be a very accomplished guitar player if he keeps up his good work. But this is all of the red pilling I'm doing. And if your sister wants me to do any more next week, I'll give you another couple minutes, okay? But do your due diligence. Listen to your sister. She's completely awake. She knows what's going on. I keep her informed almost daily, maybe every 2 or 3 days or something, about what's going on. And yes, I have military contacts. Yes, I have contacts in the White Hats. And there's even, after the Republic is fully initiated, they've even talked about making me a constitutional sheriff during the cleanup time. I don't want to hold a public office. I'm a musician. I'm a guitar salesman. I sell instruments. That's what I do. God called me to do this because there's so many people on YouTube that are just full of bullcrap. Okay, they're just full of it, and they're just telling lies to people. I'm the only truther in the world that gives you my name, my address. I give you my phone numbers. You could contact me anytime, day or night. Okay. Um, Min Chow says, and I know Min Chow personally. She's a really nice lady. She says, in the last week, I've been treated very nasty by two people who are trying to bring the vibrations down. Uh, Go jump is what I say nicely. Yeah. Listen, Min Chow, my friend down in Texas. Her name is. We'll just call her Ashley. Okay. I'm not going to put out anybody's real names anymore. Ashley has a uh, a couple of demons following her around. She sent me pictures of them, and well above one. She sent me pictures of one, and it didn't take a rocket science to get the vibrations off of it. So she has very high vibrations. Ashley has very high vibrations, and after the global currency reset happens, I have given Ashley an opportunity to come up here and work for me because of her. She's high vibration. Brian, you need to meet her. She's very high.
Yeah, but because you're high, I don't know how many
I want
times,
to surround myself with high vibration people.
but you can't do that here. You cannot navigate properly by being high vibrational all the time here. It doesn't work. It's like you're sending a call out to have dynamic expressions in situations. You're inviting yourself. You have to be neutral. Again, it's so important when I say neutrality keeps you invisible. It really does. If you do not want, you can have your high moment, but you have to reset to the 0 point if you wish to be invisible. Because if you stay in a high vibrational state, there's always going to be something, whether you can see it or not see it, that's going to try and usurp your energy. And then it's even worse because then you crash. It literally, it's like you hit rock bottom. So, and you take longer to recover because you were kept yourself at this pinnacle. And now that you're forced to be at the very bottom where everyone else, you have to slowly bring yourself back up because you were caught off guard, right? So if you're neutral all the time, and if something does happen, because you're outside looking in, you can rebound quickly. So if something happens a little bit bad, you'll rebound because you're in observation mode and you're still operating invisibly. So it's, I don't know why people and sisters say all the time, or even spiritual people say, no, you got to always vibrate high, you got to be happy. I was like, please, if you could only see, feel, and understand your next door neighbor realms, you would know better not to do it. You would really, really consider, if you can just wipe those, like peel back a couple lenses and see those realms for what they are, and I mean physically speaking, you would have nightmares, or your jaw would drop because you would be seeing all types of crap that just doesn't make sense, but it's ever present, and that's what you're unaware of. So the only way you could do it is through feeling. and intuition, and then using your inner eye or your inner mind's eye, your third eye, in a way, to kind of like see the things without having to peer at them at a physical level. Because if you peer at them at a physical level, they can touch you just as you can touch them. So it's a
You,
different experience. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you said something very important that most people didn't understand. Usurp your energy. You said they will usurp your energy. That means they're
Yep.
going to suck your energy. They're going to suck you dry like a vampire. That's Brian's analogy.
But
Now,
they bring you to their level.
right. But and I'm going to tell you that I think that's what's been happening to me to an extent. Now, I want you to. I'm gonna put 2 or 3 things together here, and I want y'all to stay with me on this, okay? Doc, I'm going to start with you, okay?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Doc, when you have a down point, when you have a downside, you feel like everything's closing in on you.
Always.
And you don't know where to turn.
Yep.
And you don't know where to turn next, right?
Correct.
Now, here's where you turn. My suggestion is this. Do you notice that everything comes in waves? You're okay now. Then we're down again. Oh well, wait a minute, coming back up. Things are getting better, and then we're down again. Okay, it's because you've got to maintain a level of positivity, a level of faith, and a level of magic. And if you really believe in magic, and I do, not like watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat, but okay.
But Chance, I need to say something. Being positive, it can be a trap. You want to be neutral, because if you're neutral when that wave, you want to surf. So this is what you want. You want the flat line, like the bar, something. Yeah, but you want to ride that bar when things happen, because then you can rebound in neutrality. If you're in a positive, that means you're already in the hump. When you're waving that bar, that wave is going to crash from whatever entities or attachments from people. It's going to crash into your bar for dynamics, energy dynamics from the metaphysical side. And then you're going to crash way lower. And then it's going to take so much, it's going to make it so much harder to climb out. Because if you cannot climb out, you pay the price from your emotional body and your physical body, because they're both tied, and your energy output. And your circuitry and wiring also goes kind of haywire, because you are trying to restabilize, especially again in how this world is operating. So I know I know Chance loves to say be positive, and yes, I do agree with you need to be positive, but then you got to drop and be invisible.
Okay, and I agree to that, because here's the thing. I'm probably the most positive person that I know, okay? I know things are going to get better. I can feel it. I mean, I can just feel this energy around us. I know. But when I go downtown, I just listen to everybody, and it's the same old crap. If I go to the restaurant and get a hot dog or a bowl of chili or something, and this and that, and all the negativity you hear floating around, and somebody talking about let's go Brandon and all this other stuff, and okay, they're in their cycle, but secretly, I don't put it out there, but secretly, I'm thinking, you guys have no idea what blessings are coming our way. Okay? They really don't have a clue. I keep it to myself, because otherwise I'm just going to be the nutcase. Okay? I'm the screwball. But that's okay. I expect nothing less of people in Fort Madison. So, Doc, what I'm trying to say with you is all if you just keep your faith strong and keep with your you keep your faith strong. No matter what, we're going to get through this. No matter what, we will persevere. No matter what, we will give our message. No matter what, we will keep the station going. No matter what, my music store is going to be revived. No matter what, I'm going to be able to help the people in this town get better food. No matter what, I am going to help children get back to their parents. No matter what, I'm going to eliminate this town of the drug addicts the nice way. But anyway, and usually the drug addicts have a way of taking care of themselves. Last Friday, guy that borrowed $600 from me like 6 years ago. Oh, yeah, I'll pay you next month. I'll pay you next month. Yeah. $4,500 a month Navy pension. Couldn't pay me $600 in 6 years. Okay? Well, here's what happened to poor old Kevin. Sitting in his car at the Burlington airport. Sucking on that crack pipe. I like that crack pipe, Kevin. He likes it. He likes that and pills. And $4,500 a month. He could have lived off $1,000 a month and paid $3,500 to help people. That's more important than you take those pills and that crack pipe, and he's done. Died right in the airport parking lot in his car. I have no sympathy for him.
Yeah.
I wish him well on his journey, but he could have paid me and a couple other people he owed a lot of money to, okay, before he left. But that's his journey. That's his travel. That's his lesson. He's going to have to learn. And I've learned something by his leaving. Don't burn any bridges, okay? And don't expect somebody else to be your Superman.
Yeah, true.
You've got a cape in the closet. Brian's got a cape in his closet. Doc's got a cape in his closet. All you got to do is go put it on. Okay? Dedicate yourself to your principles. Your principles of right. Your principles of wrong. Your principles of helping the neighbor. I gave a guy a place to live for 3 years and got practically no compensation for it. But when he started bringing druggies here to the house, that was it. Okay? Ran up a $550 electric bill, stuck me with it. That was enough. So I was able to get him evicted legally. And he didn't think I'd ever do it. Well, you've got a big heart, Chance, and I know you'll never kick him out. Well, I bet. You can only dump so much crap on somebody until they say, "Hey, I've had enough. I'm up to here your shit."
Yep.
So I don't need it anymore. Sure. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cuss. So this has another thing to do with people that call me on the phone. I had a talk with you guys last week, the ones of you that didn't listen, that didn't bail out as soon as I gave the RV information. And I talked about Mary and why she's in a mental institution. Because she is a drama queen, she is maniacal, and she is not addressing her problems one at a time. She's looking for me to put my cape on, fly to Ohio, and fix all her problems for her. We're at a time of transition. Now, when I tell you what happened last weekend and how, when I was really sick with vertigo and to try to get over that food poisoning, how I got pulled into something. We'll just call her Elizabeth. Elizabeth is a friend of mine. She's 74 years old. She lives in Fairfield, Iowa. I know a lot of people in Fairfield, Iowa. Got a lot of people in the group up there. And I've been to a lot of meetings and trust classes and everything like that. So I know Elizabeth pretty well. And Elizabeth is a constitutional lady. And the Constitution and the Supreme Court, the right to travel, it's one of our constitutional rights. And guys, the Supreme Court has made over 150 rulings that say you don't have to have a driver's license and you don't have to have insurance. Over 150 rulings. And they keep picking her up. The cops keep picking her up, keep giving her. Now that this time they've given her 2 years in prison. Okay? Well, she's just ignoring them. She's going on living her life. I'm not, I'm outside of all that. And we filed a lot of paperwork on her behalf. We've done a lot of paperwork. She's done a lot. And last Saturday, she called me and she says, Chance, I don't know what to do. I'm hiding in a bush. There's 15 cop cars circling a 6-block radius of where I live. The state's attorney himself is out in his car looking for me. They're going to take me, and I'm going to tell you what would happen to her if they would have took custody of her. She would have had an accident, and because she's fighting the power. And this entire, listen to me close, I'm not stuttering. The entire Jefferson County, Iowa, around Fairfield, is corrupt. The sheriff is the ultimate power in that county, and he is backing down to all these officials because he doesn't want to lose his job. What happened to the Constitution? Well, they wiped their rear end on it. That's what they do. Okay? And so she called me and she says, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I didn't get my appeal and I didn't this. I said, what you have is you have a RICO case. You've got a police department that is working in concert with the sheriff's office, which is working in concert with the state's attorney's office, and none of them have any jurisdiction to prosecute you on a traffic offense. They are hunting this woman down like she is a dog over a traffic offense. Do you know who has the only department at any state level that can prosecute you on a traffic offense? And that is the Department of Transportation for each state. They're the only ones that can prosecute you. Follow me on this. Try to make sense of this. That's a DOT, the Department of Transportation. It's national, it's state. Okay? Now listen to me so you can understand this. A week and a half ago, almost 2 weeks ago, the Chevron Act was repealed. Okay? Do everybody know what that means? That means any laws created by a 3-letter agency are revoked. Her cases should be revoked under the repeal of the Chevron Act. Are you following me on this? Okay.
But here's the problem. The problem is that identity wasn't known throughout the whole entire U.S. It wasn't on every news media channel. It wasn't identified in every streaming service. Because of that, each identity of the states are still operating as what? Corporates.
Corporation and franchise. Actually, franchise corporation, if you want to get technical.
But I do feel bad for your friend. But here's the kicker. And many of the people, if you're listening to this is a hard lesson to learn. So there is 2 methods of madness, right? You fight. It's fight or flight. So, or fight for survival, to where you're trying to identify yourself as sovereign, or you just put up with the BS. It sounds terrible. You get your driver's license, you get the bare bones basic car insurance, and you blend in until
Yep.
the transition happens. So if you're going to pick to fight knowing you're a singularity, a single
Yes.
entity versus a collective, you're going to lose.
That's right, because you cannot take a big stick and poke somebody. You can't poke the bear. Don't poke the bear. You're right, Brian. You're right.
It sucks. I get it. But you have to operate with sound reasoning. Every one of you need to think, especially if you have family, kids. You can't go above and beyond whatever you wish you can. That's why I encourage the metaphysical side, the imagination. You want to change it, you have to change it from within. You have to change and see a greater version of transparency of the world, and you have to live it within your heart. So many missed opportunities to live things just within your inner realm, within your heart space. And you're all, or not everyone, but a lot, are still focused on the external stuff, especially with the RV. Hurry up, Chance, give me the news so I can cut out early. And just so you know, that makes me angry. I'm disappointed in so many individuals because you are not ready to be sovereign in your own journey to assist the human in a greater fashion, because you're still operating in survival. So you don't have that abundance, you don't have that empathy that you think you do. You like to think you do, and I'm talking to the ones that this applies to, but you don't. So you need to reevaluate yourselves, those of you that are being all about me, myself, and I. Not to say that you can't be and put yourself first, but you need to put yourself first in a way that makes sense. In other words, humility, humbleness, honorable, transparency, authenticity. These are greater virtues that are going to take you farther than the third dimensional ones. Okay, you go back storytelling.
Well, I get both sides of it as far as Elizabeth goes. I get the constitutionality of it, and I also get the don't poke the bear. Okay? Okay, so are you up to the fight? When that cop grabbed you on your arm and you were scared to death he was going to break your arm, were you ready for the fight then? Did you take your wrestling lessons from Hulk Hogan or Rowdy Roddy Piper so that you could defend yourself in the ring? No, you didn't. Okay? Right now, the Constitution means nothing except to the patriots. If you're on the left, if you're liberal, it really doesn't mean anything to you. In our hearts, in our truth or hearts, the Constitution, God's law, constitutional law, common law, they're the only things that matter. 1 second. And that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for the constitutionality. To return. We're waiting for justice. We're waiting for God's law to be reinstated. 30 years ago, if I'd heard about the guy dying in the airport, I would have hee-hawed. So that son of a, I would have hee-hawed because that was been the immature chance. Okay, I'm not that guy no more. Okay, I am the guy that has empathy for everybody, no matter the situation. I'm not gonna say who. I had a friend last week that told me on the phone. He said, "Oh, my bank account got hacked, and everything's messed up, and I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do that." And I just said a silent prayer and positive energies. And when I talked to him today, he said things are getting resolved. And that's how we resolve problems. We don't try resolving them all at once. We do bullet points, and we go, we're going to fix this, and then we're going to fix this, and we're going to fix that. And this guy is very astute on how to solve problems. And I guarantee you, he did his own version of bullet points. You sit down, you make the bullet point. I'll fix this first. I'll fix that first. And sometimes when you're doing two or three different ones, you solve a couple others. You're fortunate enough. Okay, that's why Mary is in a mental institution, because she didn't do bullet points to take care of her problems. What she did was panicked, screamed, looking for a savior. Now, I got another lady, and she's a nice lady. I really enjoy talking to her. She's just sweet as she could be. And I've tried helping her, and I've already started on her case. But 5 or 6 weeks ago, she says, "Well, I got to get rid of the administrator of the trust." And I said, "Well, that's easy. Of my dad's trust, $10 million estate." Okay. And I said, "That's easy enough to do. I can do that for you and everything." So, she told me what state she was in, and I started working on it. She says, "Well, I'll put a little something in the mail for you. I got to have details. I can't work with a blank slate." Okay. So here we are 6 weeks later, and I still haven't seen anything in the mail. And, I got to give me something to work with, But there's a lot of people that call me, and they want me to fix their problems. And like the lady, I solved her problem in Des Moines. "Well, you're a public servant. I don't have to donate anything to you." I said, "Ma'am, I am not a public servant. I am a constitutional lawyer. I have no degrees. I am a musician. I'm a music dealer. My business has pretty much failed since COVID. And I was called to do this. I got a calling. I'm not going to start my own church, and I'm not going to start preaching to people, but I was told to do this. God says you need to do this." I was a semi-regular on Kent Dunn's program, and I knew there had to be more, and that's why I called Docg. And here we are today. Okay. No matter how sick I get, I'm going to be here for you. The only thing that's going to keep me from communicating with you people and helping you, everybody in my family, on my television family, my group family, is when I pass on to the next life. That's the only thing that's going to keep me down. Okay, I was in sick, I did telegram broadcasts, 1 or 2, I can't remember, from my bed, and I'm not going to let you down. But please, before I say this, I must interrupt myself. I want to thank the 8 or 10 people who have gave me some very nice donations. That's kept me going. Now, if you'll notice that I said 8 or 10 people, I could list them, but I'm not going to. But the rest of you are calling, and you're wanting something for nothing. Anything given freely has no value. Okay, remember that. Anything given freely has no value. It's only going to have value if you are paying me for my advice or my expertise or my knowledge. Then then it has value because you're going to follow through on it. Well, oh, thank you, Min Chao. I declare total health to you and me and everybody watching tonight, Min Chao. So, yes, I agree. 520-7418. Okay. So, anyway, and I had another lady. And Bernadette, don't get mad at me. I love you so much. You're so sweet. But I had another lady said, I'm a friend of Bernadette's, and she said I should talk to you, and she took a course from some expert who sold her bill of goods. So she thought she could access her straw man account, and did the paperwork that he said to do, and walked away. And when that woman didn't get any redemption out of the paperwork because she can't access her straw man account, now she's in court. She's having problems. Okay. Well, first of all, you poke the bear. Okay. You're trying to put into practice something that you cannot put into practice without changing your status first. If you don't change your status first, you're screwed. And your status wasn't changed. You have to have an express trust in order to change your status. Now, let me explain this. Express trust, you are the trustee. If you get an express trust, you are the trustee. It changes you from being a debtor. It changes you from being a slave to the administrator of the straw man account. Hello? Do you understand what that means? You are the boss. And it also stops other people from accessing your straw man account, like law enforcement, like judges, like sheriffs. Okay? I'm sorry about the background sounds. I'm doing the best I can.
I don't hear anything. So go ahead. I really don't hear anything. It's very, very slight in the background. You're fine.
It's very slight, and it's just his son watching TV. Don't focus on it. Just focus on the message that we have here. This is nothing new. Anyways,
I'm not going to mention her name. Bernadette. I'm not on the air, but anyway, she. And so I don't know what her house is worth. Heck, anybody that owns a house, anybody's house anywhere is worth $100,000 to $500,000. So if you only owe $15,000 on it, do you want to lose it when you go to court, or do you want to pay $2,500 and do you want to get an express trust and show them that they can no longer access you? And once they can't get money off of you, you're no longer of interest to them. Don't you get it? Don't you get it? Okay? You get the express trust, you get everything in your name, and you're the boss, and you could create your own financial instruments, which, by the way, Marie Janet is very, very close to creating her first financial instrument. And once she does so, she's going to be teaching you how to do that. Okay? If you have signed up for the Express Trust, and if you have signed up for the online classes, you can't just buy a silver bullet. It's Express Trust you will have to learn how to defend the trust. You're the boss. Yes. Yeah, I agree, Bernadette. She is very mixed up. And she thinks she's going to muddle through it by herself. What she's going to end up is on the street if she doesn't get with the program. Okay, so if it's not worth $2,500 to stay in the house that you're in, that you've paid $150,000 for already, and you're willing to lose it for $15,000, then guess what? I'm sorry, but you deserve to be homeless. And if that sounds cold, then it's cold. Okay, it's like you're eating an ice cream cone out in the rain. Well, get out of the rain. Your ice cream cone won't melt. Well, but the rain feels so good on my back. Where'd my ice cream cone go?
Well, but that's the thing about this world. Everything is choice driven. So you pick your choices and you will expect either good results or bad results. Just to chime in, I noticed someone asked a couple of questions, something about the astral realm. The astral realm is pretty much it's part of the ether. So, and it's always been there. And spirit didn't create it. It's all a part of source. Like everything is a part of source. Metaphysics, anytime I talk about metaphysics, it's just energy dynamics. The energy dynamics I'm talking about, that your superpower, the ultimate superpower everyone has that cannot be taken away from you, that cannot be hijacked, is your imagination. So if you want to use your creativity to spur something in that you wish to see in your now moment journey, then you do that. But at the same time, once you do it, you close the curtain. That means you drop the curtain, you take your bow, you let it go into the ether, and it creates, it's like frequency, radio waves, ripples, because you're an antenna. So you keep doing it over and over. You want to keep creating ripples and waves of ideas. Again, that's your positive moment, right? You have it, you let it go, you reset, you're not thinking about it, you leave it up to the creator, and it just sends off into the ether. And it comes right back. It has a boomerang effect because there are no walls, there are no boundaries, and it's limitless. So this is why the opportunity in all these things is really important. And I had a talk today with Chance where I did let him know that he may have to reestablish new terms and conditions. Just like I encourage everyone to set terms and conditions for engaging each other, he needs to also make sure he's looking out for him only. So if your terms and conditions is me, myself, and I, where you take without giving an equal value, don't bother contacting him. Just don't. That's my personal opinion, because your ethics clearly does not match what we're trying to talk about in the balance of scales and how we should operate when we're being human and negotiating and navigating each other, holistically speaking. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that on that.
Right, that's almost like a person going to a restaurant and not giving a tip. I know it sounds ludicrous and horrible, but that's some people are doing that now.
Well,
they feel like it's a server's problem that the prices are so high.
There you go.
Yeah.
And they're only getting like $250, $350 an hour, so they're not making anything.
It's
unless they have a tip.
Yeah, but that's the survival game. It's a part of that taking advantage. So it's like you're mirroring exactly what those people in the higher tier game board are doing to us, right?
Correct.
So if they're taking advantage of us, you're like, well, screw that. I need to like still maintain my survival ability. So that means I'm just going to have to not tip anymore. So all the SHIT trickles down, right?
Yes.
So we're going to do it. Or the ones that have what you would call loose ethics, they're going to do it because they don't feel, nor can they be relatable to the server, the waitress, whoever. They just don't see it. And it's funny because this is like why when I when I give people opportunity to pay attention to a lot of other people, you want to see who's real and who's not. And then you'll be able to tell who's got authenticity or who has a little bit less or even zero at all. And you'll be like fascinated by the big game board and how it's got all variants of levels of consciousness. Some are real players, but a lot of them, they're not real. They're just here for you and your experience to stay away from them or to observe them and choose whether or not you want to engage or don't. So.
Well, that's good. Excellent points. Brian, there's a couple other things I want to address to people. Okay. Now, I want you to Google something. Everybody that's having housing problems, money problems, credit card problems, monthly bill problems, I'm going to teach you about a negotiable instrument that you have access to. Okay? Your negotiable instrument that you have access to without going to the money and borrowing, without going to the bank and borrowing money that isn't even real, is I want you to write down this Google search. It's called Promissory note is a negotiable instrument. Promissory note is a negotiable instrument. What a promissory note is a negotiable instrument. You can, let's say you're 6 months behind on your electricity and you don't have any money, or you haven't gotten your this, or you haven't gotten your that, and you're in a pickle. Well, go online with the promissory note. It's a negotiable instrument. You are going to find examples of a promissory note. You make the promissory note out. I was talking to my data scanner friend tonight, who did a healing with me over the phone. Thank you very much for that. I'm feeling much better. And I told him, go to this promissory note. It is a negotiable instrument. Make a promissory note for what you think your electric bill or your house payment is going to be for till the end of the year. Okay? And send them in a promissory note. And then with that promissory note, you can pull up on the same page is it's called negotiable instrument as far as U.S. law. It's on the same Google page. So it'll give you the definition of a negotiable instrument. Okay, an instrument is a note if it is a promise and is a draft if it isn't an order. Okay, so that means you make it, you send it, they got to accept it as legal tender, unless the note fails. So if you don't pay it in 6 months, then that is a failed note, and then they can start your proceedings against you. Okay, but this is a good way to buy yourself some time to keep your ball in the air as far as the game goes of trying to survive in this environment that we're living in right now. This information that I have just given you is probably the most important piece of information that you will get this year. Are you behind on your taxes? Are you one of those people that think you have to pay taxes? Well, go ahead. You don't have it? I don't have $30,000 to send the IRS. Send them a promissory note. Guess what I see coming around the corner? Oh, yeah, that's Nara. Yeah, I see that. But you go ahead and give them a promissory note for 6 months ahead, because according to their statutes, codes, and ordinances, they got to take it. And so include with your promissory note the law that says that they have to accept it. And then you can keep your ball in the air. That's a basketball term. That's when you don't want the other team to score against you. So you just keep passing the ball. Just keep passing it. Keep the ball in the air. Nobody can grab it and shoot a basket and score against you. That's what I'm telling you. Keep your ball in the air. It's a basketball analogy, okay? Gosh, for a guy who don't like sports, I use a lot of sports analogies. I'm your coach. You guys are the players. That's what I was on last week. Now I'm a basketball coach. Okay, all right. I do love playing basketball, though. Get me in a med bed and then get me on a ball court, and you're going to make you feel bad because I could shoot. Okay. Anyway, so that promissory note thing is probably the most important bit of advice that you are going to get. Now, let's say you're in the middle of bankruptcy or house repossession. Make yourself a promissory note, write it for a year ahead. And if nothing else happens, you got a year to get your act together. I have just given you the ultimate tool to keep your ball in the air. So use it. And whatever you think that information is worth, I want you to accordingly send me a donation. But what I want to tell you next, I want to get this off my chest because I got a lovely lady. We're just going to call her, I'll call her Diamond. Miss Diamond sent me a very nice email this morning. It really set my whole day up. It says, "Dear Chance, I am just now reading your tremendous body of work PDF RV protocol papers. It is covering every area of questions I have had for 2 years, just as you said. You are very generous preparing all of us. It is priceless." Okay? It is priceless. This is from just a regular lady. She's not a lawyer, an actress, or, she may be a mom or a grandmom, just a great, regular, nice lady. It's very good. I enjoyed hearing from her. Thank you. But what she's telling you in her own normal, everyday lady way is RV protocol papers are crucial. So, if you are in Europe, these will work in Europe. These will work in Australia. These will work in Switzerland. They'll work all over. Whenever you go in for your currency exchange, send me, if you're in Europe, overseas, not in the United States, send me an email to chancemusic@yahoo.com, and I will send you a wise.com request for funds. If you are in the United States, I will send you the RV protocol papers by email. Please send $50 Cash App or Zelle to 319-561-0064. That's Brian McFadden, my real name. And my friends and family call me Chance. And you will get the protocol papers. I have to have your email address. So send me an email to chancemusic@yahoo.com. Okay? It's that easy, folks. Or when you go out for let's say you got your appointment set, and you go out in 2 weeks, and you're, I forgot to put on my pants. I'm sorry, I'm completely naked. Because would you show up naked for your RV appointment? Because guess what? You're showing up naked if you don't get your RV protocol papers. And I want to add something else too. Okay, I used to be connected with a couple of different Telegram groups. that we were sharing information, and they had me as a guest on several of their programs. And now I'm seeing my RV protocol papers, parts of them show up on these other forums. Folks, you can't share them. They're copywritten. I have copywritten them. Okay? That's my intellectual property. I own it. It's one of the sources that I have for supporting myself and my family and my son, my grandson, my animals, and helping my wife in the nursing home. So if you see anybody putting my protocol papers out there, let me know. Contact me at chancemusic@yahoo.com, because I am already starting to get an intent to sue letter together to anybody that is publishing any parts of my RV protocol papers. Spent a lot of time getting that. Okay, so thank you very much on that. So what I want you to know is HamiltonRadio.net is giving an incredible opportunity. HamiltonRadio.net has, from the very beginning, sponsored this show. They are bringing it to you, okay? I, in exchange, have arranged hi, Judy, how are you? I have arranged through my contacts to get them some sponsors. But now we have an opportunity that we're going to present to any of you that have a business to get a website. I have my chancemcfadden.com website with HamiltonRadio.net. And it's called www.hrncustomwebsites.com. Okay? Doc, did we ever put a counter up on my website to see how many people are visiting the?
We probably can. I don't think we did, but we probably can.
We probably ought to do that, because I am having people send me all kinds of stuff, and they're sending me screenshots of different things that I wrote on about the adventures of being Chance McFadden.
I understand.
I gotta make fun of myself. I'm sorry. But
who else is gonna if you don't?
Huh?
Who else is going to if you don't?
Where are you going to get a website? All right, this is what I want y'all to know. If you got a business, where are you going to get a website for $250? And then whatever. And then once it's set up, it's set up. Oh boy!
It's not your fault. It's all right. He's got to quiet the dogs.
Feel free to speak amongst yourselves while I'm being detained.
So Brian, what's your thoughts on the promissory notes?
So my thoughts on the promissory notes is it doesn't hurt, right? So you're just establishing, again, a legal process to kick the can down the road, which is perfectly fine.
Right.
So I would agree. You personally speaking, cover your bases, right? So this is, again, one of those opportunities where you can grow in knowledge, do due diligence, do research, and just learn to navigate you, right? But at the same time, you can't do that if you're emotional. If you're emotionally distraught, if you're emotionally fixated on every little and subtle nuance externally, you're not going to be able to move forward. So you have to pick. Again, choice driven. So do what you think you are capable of, and don't necessarily call Chance right away or call any one of us right away. If you can't at least problem solve it yourself. It's really important. So, yeah. I wanted to touch on something real quick.
Go ahead.
And so this has to do with like Dolores Cannon and
Oh, I love her. Yeah.
and all the predecessors. Okay, so all our predecessors. Now you have to keep in mind, this has been going on for at least the better part of 25 years, maybe even longer. Like Edward Casey, perfect example. Another one. These were your predecessor starseeds. So, and they have made, a bunch of them have made the idea that there's supposed to be some type of ascension, right? So,
Correct.
Here's the kicker with the so-called idea of the ascension, which I would say 90% aren't paying attention to that idea. Because you're still focused on the RV, you're still focused on Q, you're focused on ETs and this and that and that and this. So, because there is going to be a grand shift, no one knows what it's going to look like. No one knows how it's going to happen, but you were warned. You were warned years ago and years ago and years ago. Decades. You are down to the wire now in the idea of whatever ascension is. That means you have a year left. A year before that idea, whether you believe in it or not, but what if, I mean it, like what if there is that principle? You don't know what's going to happen. If there's a greater aspect of a creator or creation that says the game board has to close, that means everything third dimensional, everything, you have to wonder who transfers over to the new game board, because it's not everybody. And the reason why, and this is actually a principle which can be scientifically proven, if you aren't vibrating in a higher caliber, and if one game board gets removed from the table and everyone is put in the higher vibration output of the game board, what happens to those vessels? They burn out. They just don't transfer because they're so heavy and low vibrating. To force, from a creational aspect, to even attempt to force them to move from point A to point B would be impossible. They would just burn away and they would just become source fractals again. That's kind of what to expect from the ascension principle. That means those that have already done the hard work in their spiritual essence, their truth, they're navigating their own realm and reality versus external, they went internal. They transfer over. And I mean, not everything transfers over. That's people, that's animals. Nature has kind of already done its shedding, so the overlay is kind of a residual, is what I noticed. So the reason why I say that is, so when I go out for walks, it's actually kind of interesting. So I see, it's really weird. And usually I'll go for a walk around the track. I see like rain, but it's not like water. It's literally like kind of like gold lines, like showers. So there's like nature, or its matrix has like a different gradient of energy, and I can like see like the rain. It's almost like, it's hard to explain, but it's different from the version of the humans matrix, is what I noticed. But I have noticed that there is a transition that's kind of already taken place in some layers, but we just haven't seen it from our physical layer. So everyone, I just want you to be aware that if there is an ascension and everything gets wiped away, it doesn't matter. The RV, the money, and everything. Yes, does that mean that the new game board isn't going to have it? No, because there will be many things that will transfer over. But a lot of it, I would say 90% that consists of third 3D reality will not. It's ethics, it's entities and mind games. It won't transfer over. So either you choose, because you're going to make a choice, you're going to choose the family, your family, or you're going to choose you and what you want. Many have already chosen to support 3D individual humans instead of choosing to support the future human. So you're going to be trans-dimensional, and you're going to go and you're going to play on threshold versions of Nasara Jasara, meaning there'll be gradients. Some will be in favor of the human, and then there will be others that are not necessarily in favor of the human. So, and it's going to have a survival mechanism attached to it. Just something to consider. So if you are concerned about the idea of ascension, because none of us can stop it if it holds true. I'm just going to say that from a cosmic level. We don't get to pick. We don't get to deny it. We can only transition. So you transition by choosing the new game board, or you get wiped off the game board, whatever that looks like. So do research on it, figure it out, do some spiritual growth, decide, are you going to choose to be more human, or are you going to step up to be the higher level human? It's going to be choice driven, and it's going to be a very painful, and I am going to say painful experience in a way that you would probably feel alone in the beginning, because you still had to choose, right? So you have to be okay if you go alone. Because again, I don't know. All right.
Well, Brian, thank you. I had a question pop up on the board here. Is an express trust better than an irrevocable or a non-revocable trust? Okay. I want you to understand something. They call it an express trust. It is not a trust that you create so that you can protect an asset. It is a different kind of trust. It puts you in the driver's seat of the straw man account, and it takes you out of the jurisdiction of the corporation. The trust makes you the administrator. I hate the fact they should be calling it the executive control.
Just call it the
tool.
Cabal Trust. Just call it the Cabal Trust. You're using their method against them. That's what you're doing. You're taking,
right.
You're just taking the idea that they used in secrecy, and you're benefiting from it. That's all you're doing. So you're just playing the boomerang effect.
You know, that's real good. But anyway, it's a different thing. A revocable and irrevocable trust are two different things. An express trust, you could call it, you know, you're taking your power away from the cabal. Okay, that's what an express trust does. It has nothing to do with protecting assets on a temporary or permanent basis. It has nothing to do with leaving anything to your family or anything like that. It is a different kind of entity. And if you want it, contact me at chancemusic@yahoo.com. they are $5,000. Anywhere else, they're $5,000. Marie Janet does that in the training that you need to defend the trust for $2,500 flat. Okay? That's what it costs. All right? And we still have irrevocable and revocable trusts available from Raymond for $800 each. Okay? They're scaled down, less commercial, but you guys are getting close. And if you can't afford any of that, I understand. It's fine. I understand being broke. It's my middle name. Yeah, Chance Broke McFadden. Hi. Welcome to Chance's Chat here at in Empty Pockets, Nebraska. Okay, but it's all good. Okay.
Chance, you're a musician. Of course you're broke. Most of my musician friends are all broke.
I know. Well, you are too. You're a musician too. It just lack of money just seems to follow us around.
I know.
You know. I'm always reminded. When I first started talking to a lot of my friends, I always relate to a song by Traffic, and it's called "Seems I Got to Have a Change of Scene," because every night I have the strangest dream. Imagine things the way they might have been. I'm left here on my own, or so it seems. I got to leave before I start to scream because someone locked the door and they took the key. That's the words to Feeling All Right.
Yeah.
And the second verse really applies to me because it goes, "Girl, you sure took me for one big ride. Even now I sit and wonder why. And when I think of you, I start to cry. I can't hold back my tears. I must keep dry. I got to stop believing in all your lies because I got too much to lose before I die." Second verse, yeah. I go to the third and fourth verse too, but nobody wants to hear that.
Nobody really knows them.
I know. Just go listen to Traffic. You know, and another instrumental that my band used to play was you remember the jam that Traffic did? It was called Traffic Jam.
Yeah.
You ought to play that on the radio sometime. It's really good jam. I mean, it was an instrumental jam, and it moved. It had feeling. It had good vibrations. Traffic was actually just a monstrous band and way ahead of their time. And I heard you play in Itchycoo Park today on the radio.
Yeah, I play it every now and then.
I love that song. Well, can you even imagine a band by today's standards that is capable of writing something like that? Or the other song that you played. See, there's certain songs that you play on HamiltonRadio.net that most people don't get, okay? The Worst That Could Happen. Remember that? You played that this afternoon.
Yeah, Brooklyn Bridge, yeah. I actually met Jimmy Roselli from the Brooklyn Bridge.
Right, okay. Let me get you down to this, because listen to the arrangement. It goes from a ballad to a horn song to a wedding march and then a dramatic highlighted ending. And he still loses the girl.
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of tragedy is? I mean, it's just like the emotional roller coaster that you get from being on that. Try to get in where the guy was at when he wrote it. Yeah. Okay, I'm not going to turn this into a music show, but yeah. Okay.
Well, it has aspects of it because you're going to go that way around anyway. But the point is like I said, most of my friends that are musicians are either broke, or they were broken by their producers, the record companies. I mean, you know all this. I don't have to tell you, but most of
I know.
And the legends they're legends because they created songs, but it's not that they have millions of dollars or anything. A lot of them don't even have retirement funds. People don't get that.
So I know I worked with a lot of oldie groups. Johnny and the Hurricane. I worked with Johnny and the Hurricanes, and I worked with Louise Mandrell, and I worked with Del Shannon, and I worked with J.D. Sumner. The list goes on of all the old. They come through. Musicians referrals say, we need a keyboard player. We need a drum. Or not. I'm not a drummer, but we need this. we need a sax man or whatever. And I'd say, well, I don't play sax, but I got one, and they'd call me because I knew all the players. Now they're all dead.
Yeah, they're all dead. Yeah.
They're all dead now.
Yeah.
The one of the best harmonica players in the area was he expired smoking crack in his car in the airport. So
very sad.
He was a good harmonica player too. That was what the funny part about it is. He was really pretty darn good. We always called him a crack monkey because everybody knew what he was, but jumping around from here and there like a monkey, gotta get my drugs before I come down. You got anything? Can I borrow $500? I mean, you think I'm kidding? I'm not.
I know you're not. I know you're not.
I'll pay you back. I'll pay you back next month double. I'll pay you back next month.
I ran into a guy that was, and I'll just say this real quick. He was in the scene for a while, and he was in heavy cocaine use. I didn't know that, but he said that. And he says, every now and then I go back. I'm like, why? Why would you go back to something that actually destroyed you? He says, that actually makes me feel good. I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't have no explanation for that. Substance abuse to me is just, substance abuse. It's part of their life. It's their karma. It's whatever they're going through. But at the same time, I wish them well. I have nothing to do with them, but I wish them well.
Yeah, I get it, brother. All right. Well, here we are in the last 5 minutes of the show, and I'm going to give the RV. Thank you, Alexander. I really appreciate your comments. I guarantee you one thing. I absolutely can guarantee you one thing. There's no show on the internet that's anything like this. Okay, because Brian's just absolutely fascinating.
Yes,
and fantastic. We learned today Brian's also fantastic too. And I don't know enough to shut my mouth for 5 minutes. And Docg is kind of like the rock that holds us all together. So I want you guys to, I'm very grateful for all of you. Here's the RV information. Chance. The bank reports the event should occur this week. This week? I got this morning. Today's Thursday. Not much time in the week left. The event should occur this week as the IMF the International Monetary Fund is supposedly issuing Nara. There are small quantities of German and Chinese dragon bonds that are being liquidated. This activity was also confirmed by a seller of German bonds in Zurich, and that buyers were running test transactions through the European banks. Now, if your bank is not ISO 20024 compliant, get your money out of the bank. Okay? How many people do I can't save your money. I can't save your money. Okay? I can't do it. I did it once for that one lady, but all the thanks that I got for it was, well, you're a public servant. You're supposed to help me. It's just, I'm sorry, but it chaps my butt when you make somebody, you recover $100,000 and you make them an additional $20,000 and they say they don't have to give you anything. That is the epitome of the word narcissist. Okay? All right? Now, Judy, I want to tell Judy and the rest of you, 3 days ago, I sent my paperwork in to the intake officer. He sent it back the next day. Oh, Chance, you did pretty good for your first try, but you got all this wrong. And he told me what I had to correct. At 10 o'clock this morning, everything was corrected and sent back into him. as of right now, I have not gotten the documents back. I have not gotten the documents back. That means I got to pass. Now, regardless of whether you've donated to me or not, I'm going to make you a promise. I pretty much know most of you people, and I'm real good. I've got 3 phones retired with all my contacts in it. My new phone, thank you, Bernadette. It just works absolutely fantastic. Wow. Okay, and yeah, I know, firefighter. Um, but anyway, it's okay. God is being good to me. He's being very, very good to me. And I have the absolute ultimate belief that I'm soon going to be going downtown and buying a building and paying cash for it and moving my store in down there and then go and work on another store and after that. And I love music retail. I love working on guitars, but it's all good. I know this is going to happen. Okay, I just feel it. I have believed in it for 14 years when everybody else, and I got a dear friend of mine, and he's brought me closer to Jesus, and I thank him so much for it. But I've been in this for 3.5 years, and I'm just getting tired of waiting, and I want this, and I want that. 14 years, 3.5 years, I'm not complaining. I still believe. I believe in God. I believe it's all up to God. Yahweh, Yeshua, his son, Joshua, however you want to say it. He knows who I'm talking about. I love you, Heavenly Father. I love you, Yeshua. I'm keeping you in my heart every day. I know you are not going to let us down. I just know it. I feel it. And when somebody tries to bring me down, it just breaks my heart. It just breaks my heart that they don't see that God wants all of us to have abundance. He wants that for us. And just love each other. What's your final thoughts tonight, Doc G?
Oh boy. I would say just be yourself. Again, relax. You know, I've gone through some things the last couple days myself, and I just tell people, you know, like God's got us. You know, like you always say, God's got us. God has us. He's just waiting for that time. Waiting for that time where we can all celebrate and go, yeah, we did it. We finally got it. We've won. And now we can just live stress free, because I think that the whole thing about stress is not having the money to pay for anything. And when you don't have that, it's gone. You don't have to worry about it anymore. It's like, okay, we just relax, enjoy life the way it's supposed to be. That's my thoughts.
That's it, brother. And I'm gonna tell you what. I don't know if you got any good restaurants out there or not, but when I get out there to see you, we're gonna go someplace and we're gonna drink at least one Long Island iced tea, just one.
I don't drink, but okay.
Okay, and well, you know, I don't either, but in celebratory for the blessing, I will drink. I will have one drink for, you know,
before I go to the
and
med
we're-
beds.
yeah, and you know, we're gonna have a good time. And Brian, we're looking forward to your final thoughts right now. So go ahead, brother.
Okay, so my final thoughts. 1, set terms and conditions holistically to friends, to family, for yourself, especially. 2, whether you believe in God, source, creator, You need to be equal to your inner creator, at all measures. You had to believe in your power as a representative of God, source, or creator. Or if you don't, you're not going to get it. It's not going to come your way. You are just as powerful, if not even greater, because you are playing a minor role, even though the source, God, creator is playing everything. So be limitless. That's it.
Thank you, Brian. I want to give a shout out to Ellie Clausen, lives over by Peoria. He has a church over there. Very unconventional church. They meet at park. It's called a church with no walls. They have a shelter house that they go to every week. There's no 501c3 or whatever. There's none of that. And they all show up. They all have a picnic lunch every week. And shout out to him for what I believe is our true role as devout followers of Jesus Christ, Yeshua, whatever you want to call the Son, and Yeshua. So, regardless, he's doing a good thing. He's bringing people together in fellowship, and good job, Ellie. Not Ellie. Lloyd Edwards. That's his real name. We called him L.E. Clausen. He's from Illinois, Industry, Illinois, where I grew up. And he's actually became a really good musician in spite of himself, who couldn't play an A chord. And I was so proud of him. And he's lives for the Lord, and good for him. I wish I hadn't lost contact with him so much. I've seen him once in 50 years, but it's enough to know that I know where his heart's at. Guys, get your RV protocol papers. If you need an express trust, contact me, chancemusic@yahoo.com. If you want the RV protocol papers, contact me there, or send $50 Cash App or Zelle, 319-561-0064. Email me if you're overseas. I want all of you to be careful. I want you to all be safe. I want you to use your heads and follow with your heart. Like Kent Dunn always used to say, get out of your head and get into your heart. Okay? I like that a lot. And I also want everybody to know that even though Ken isn't on the show anymore, for reasons really unknown to me, every week when I send out the links to invitation, Kent Dunn gets an invitation. Every week. Debbie Stevens is down with a migraine headache and a backache, so she's not again. Debbie, come on, girl, get some APL Go in you and get to town, you know? And if you need any APL Go products, please get a hold of me at chancemusic@yahoo.com. I'll send you right over to Debbie and put you in contact with her, okay? Guys, I'm Chance McFadden. We got the fascinating Brian and the one and only Docg. And Min Chow, you ready for this? I was just about ready to sign out, but I'm going to give you one even better than that. We opened up for Cool and the gang at a casino in Cool wasn't with him anymore. It was a different guy, but we opened up for him. They came up after the show to the lounge where we were playing at. We actually played in the lounge, and we opened up for them, and they said, we're going to go listen to the band upstairs, and then we're going to come down and do our show, and then we're going to go back up to the band upstairs. So when they got done, everybody wanted to come and, commiserate and everything, okay? The band went absolutely ape over our vocals.
Oh, nice.
And they just went ape, you know what. But anyway, and they'd come up and say, like, gosh, you and your daughter can really sing. And I said, well, thank you very much. And poor Richie, our gone but not forgotten bass player. He says, "Well, what'd they say about me? What'd they say about me, man? My bass playing's spot on." I said, "Well, sorry, Richie, but the female vocalist gets all the attention. You always know that, okay?" "Oh man, they should have said something about me." Yeah, I know, Richie. But I'm saying something about you now. You've been gone 8 years, and we still love you, and we still miss you. And I woke up this morning, going to the bathroom at 4:00 in the morning, and I said, "Oh my God, we got a show, Mickey. You got to get a hold of Richie and get him over here. We got to get a rehearsal in before we do this show." And then I realized I was dreaming the whole time I went back and forth and everything. I was just like, wait a minute, he's been gone for 8 years. I love you, Richie Noon Jr. I love you, brother. Guys, I love you all. Good night. Oh, wait a minute. Look at this. Holy poopy. Hang on. Uh-oh.
Got something
are
good?
you ready for this?
Go ahead.
Are you ready for this? I got the RV update.
Breaking news. Go ahead. Breaking news. Go ahead.
Breaking news. If you got off too soon, let me see. Where did it go? Where'd it go? Come here. Come here. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. Let me find it. It disappeared on me.
It's always good to wait to the last minute.
Yeah. I almost turned on to Perry Mason. Okay. There it is. Oh, here it is. You ready?
Go ahead. Rip
Chance.
it.
Okay, Chance. Bank reports Zurich and Reno are scheduled once again to issue contracts either today or tomorrow, with payments expected to be going out on Monday. US 30 drag strip. Be there. Okay. Elders say all funds are now moving and we should start this week, Monday, at the latest. Are you listening? This is the update information. Nobody on the internet's got this.
You got
Why you
that
listen
right.
to anybody else? Okay. Monday at the latest. Biden has finally signed the release of the funds. The signed contract was deposited at The Hague today. Tomorrow they will make an announcement. Hello? Bueller? Hello? Okay, aren't you glad you waited till the end? I'm Chance McFadden. I love you guys. We'll see you next week. Right here on Chance's Chat. I love this theme music. I want a horn section with my new band, you know? Oh, yeah, keep an eye on that Wise, Judy. Keep an eye on it. He called Kamala Harris President Trump tonight. Beautiful. I love you guys. God bless you all. Y'all come back now, here?
Bye, everybody.